Good to see you enjoying your accommodations, dwarf. I am glad they are to your liking, for I had difficulty fitting this domain to your considerable bulk. But where are my manners? Shall help him down from the ceiling. He must be wary of dangling there, and my guest has earned himself a reprieve. For now. Is that not better? A nice stout chair, stone beneath your feet, blood rushing from your head. No, there is no need for gratitude. I am your host, and custom demands I provide you with everything you need. Like the gag, Skethik worked so hard to spin it, and I would not waste it. After all, it protects your beard from the blood you would otherwise spill on it. Besides, you would disturb the other guests with your shocking vulgarities. For now, just listen. I promise on my honor that you will want to hear these words. I see you doubt me. Very well, I swear on this gilded relic of Damahol, this wonderfully crafted great axe you have been staring at for days, that you will want to hear these words, and may Torog himself strike me upon the anvil I used to sear your flesh, if I am false. That got your attention. Now I preface this all by saying that my dwarven could use some work. I have so few opportunities to practice it, especially with a surface dweller like yourself, so I have asked Ivy here to help me with my translation. You remember her, do you not? I think you do. In fact, did you not say, "We will find her in time, and make her talk, and all of your evil schemes will be laid bare drow"? Ah, yes, you did. Back when you were full of pompous imposture, when righteous fire burned brightly in your eyes, when you had manipulated that fool lord into giving you command of Faster Vault, a command which naturally you squandered, for all dwarves are as wasteful as they are greedy. Perhaps if you were as gifted a leader as you were a manipulator, you might very well have made something of yourself. But that is a matter for another time. The issue at hand, Arthin Oathsworn, is one for which you care deeply. Damahol. Yes, that ancient myth, a vast dwarven capital, unmatched in wealth and power, which ate itself from within, as is typical of your kind's greed. I could hear your reverence, see it in your eyes, feel it in the sting of blows from your kin. Even now, after all of these years, that fairy tale exists, passed among your clans. Perhaps you were here looking for it, for the promise of glory that can be restored, hoping your people could stave off their gasping death throes. You cannot hide your fears and desires from me, dwarf. Your face is a book, the creases of anger and fear above your eyes, all the guide I need. Well, that and this. Again, my dwarven is weak, but I know a map when I see it. Observe the thick strokes, the archaic runes, the embossed script, the sigil of Damahol in one corner, the legend for the symbols in another. The ink is frayed, and the blood spatters do mar it a bit, but the colors are still strong. You can see them, can you not? Even in the dim torchlight, even with your temples throbbing and eyes straining to maintain focus. The secret path, thousands of feet beneath us, just beyond Vathis. The markings of an ancient mine, once I am sure, vibrant with your people, now forgotten ash. This ugly text, truly your language is fit only for goblins along the borders, at behest of the High King in the year. Here I will set it down for you. Read it. Oh, I know that look. You distrust my words. If you could move your fingers, you would count the times an elf has been honest with you on one hand. Fine. I concede I may be lying. Deceiving you may be part of some century-spanning ruse designed to align the cosmos in favor of a demon lord whose name you would barely recognize, yet whose deeds you could hardly condone. Perhaps by making you believe me, I will pass the final trial needed to complete my ascension into fiendom. Or I could very well be wrong. Damahall has been lost for ages. Glory hounds and treasure seekers have been hunting it for almost as long. What are the odds that someone like me, after all this time, could find a credible way into its wondrous depths? Yet there must be some truth to my words. After all, I twirl this axe in my hands. It is a beautiful axe, particularly with the dwarven blood my brother spattered along the blade there. But we drow could not forge such a beauty, could we? Not with all the forges and anvils of the Azathir. Feel it against your forehead, dwarf, that cool kiss of steel. See the runes yourself. This is no illusion, no trick or glamour. The axe is as real as you or I, the same as the map, the same as the dawning realization you are now experiencing because you just realized I will be going where you cannot. Think, Paladin, bite back your fervent zeal and erase your ignorance. If you had been a better leader, or a stronger warrior, or more devout, or perhaps if your god had not failed you, you and your kin would be the ones with this axe, with this map, with the glimmer of hope you and your kind have been seeking for so long, with the golden opportunity to find and reclaim that which has been lost to you. Imagine it, my blood on your blade, my family dead at your feet, Ivy hanged for her treachery, the acquiescent gnomes at your whim to help you reforge the grandeur of your people. How close were you to having everything you wanted? Was it worth it, Arthin O'Sworn? Think long on the years behind you, on the moments that built this, the men who trusted you and followed you to their depths and deaths, the deep gnomes who wasted their lives in futures on believing you. How many ounces of effort, of intellect or charisma or mere luck separated you from success? From your one chance to be everything your kin needed. Really, for as much as you may hate me, you only have yourself to blame. There is no torture I devise, no cruelty I could construct to equal your pain and shame, to match the knowledge that you will go to your ancestors in the forges of Torag in heaven and tell them all of your monumental failure, of how you had the opportunity to save your people and you lost it to dark elves. I wish I could see their faces, the eternal disappointment etched harshly into their cold features when they cast you out from them, when they rendered you separate from the rest, when they made you as alone as you feel now. Of course, I could be wrong. What do I know of your culture, Thorok? Those who came before you would understand. They would look into your heart and know it was pure. that you never led your men astray, that you fought your hardest, and for that your few deeds would be cherished for what they were. Or maybe you are no coward, not someone who would shirk his responsibility no matter how great his shame. No matter what fate you face, you will muster up your misguided courage and solidly walk towards it. What could I know of justice and honor? Let us put it all to the test. Ivy, would you please cut his left arm free? Not so much to give him full mobility, but enough that he can use it for himself to make his own decisions. Dwarf, let me be clear. My family would love you to be kept alive for years. You would be carted on the bodies of the Skisraw. You remember those spiders you called monsters and fed scraps to be fattened. They would nibble on your flesh, drink your blood, gorge themselves on your faith and pain. One of my sisters in particular would just love it if you were alive long enough to see us into the vaults of Damahall itself, to witness the glories of your people before we plundered them and made them our own. It would just be the best delight, she says, to see that light go out in your eyes, to experience the rush of knowing your enemy's total failure. I, however, do not agree with my siblings. Your failure is now, and there is no need to make you a liability in order to satisfy some stupid fantasy. Whether those damned spiders eat off your arms and legs, whether you are rendered blind and mute, whether your teeth are pulled and ground into your own flesh, your spirit and zeal are indefatigable, and you could create a crisis at a vulnerable moment. Consider this a sign of respect when I say that you will not leave this room alive. The choice, therefore, comes in the final details. Thank you, Ivy. That should be good enough. In my hand, I hold a dagger, soon to become your dagger. You can use this dagger however your arm permits. You can throw it at me, at Ivy, at the wall, at the map, maybe try to cut your bonds, but you would never get free before you died of exhaustion. The edges are not that sharp. However, the point is just honed enough that you would be able to save yourself from abhorrent grotesqueries designed to corrupt your body before you inevitably rended into bits by ravenous spider monsters and your mangled remnants left to die of starvation. Because, for as much as you might distrust me, you better believe my sister will demand some suitable death for you if I forbid bringing you along. This is your final opportunity. I do not give it lightly. Make of it what you will.
At this point, Rilinid hands the dagger hilt first to the entrapped dwarf and waits patiently for Arthin to make his decision. Naturally, I can't decide what choice he'll make here, but I think he will choose suicide over a prolonged life of misery and torment, because really he might be zealous and brave, but I do not think even he wishes to be eaten alive by giant spiders. Ergo, the rest of this video assumes this course of action, with Jonas free to decide the rest however he wishes, because he's the DM and I'm just an amateur thespian doing a first take because his voice couldn't possibly do that another time.
Arthin, for what it is worth, as your lifeblood spills into the webbing from your mortal wound, I thank you. Not for standing on that wall and threatening my family, of course, and certainly not for stirring the Svirfneblin into senseless fight. Instead, as your consciousness fades and your spirit prepares to enter the afterlife, I thank you for not reading the fine print on the back of the map. See, There was a very stern warning from its creator that access to this path required the freely given blood of a dwarf paladin of Torog, and I had despaired for so long because, really, when would I ever find one of those in the Azathir? Then we happened upon you, and the rest is history. Please, when you see your creator, tell him the Black Artist sends her regards.
Rilinid will crouch down long enough to watch the light go out of Arthin's eyes. Perhaps the dwarf manages now to slice his gag with the dagger in order to let out a final slew of curses. Otherwise, they would be muffled by the webbing. But, Rilinid understands Dwarven, so he might be able to pick up on them. But when the affair is done, the Dark Elf will look towards the Deep Gnome, Ivy, he invited here, who is probably feeling a cocktail of emotions which must be exploited. Hence the reason for her being here.
The reason I invited you here, Ivy, into this most private moment, is so that you can see me at my best and my worst. For you to trust me, and for I to trust you, there can be no secrets between us. And you can read the tells, the truth on my face. The map is a lie. Most of what I said to him were lies to a powerful enemy who wished ruin upon everyone close to me, and everyone close to you. Did you not feel the zeal which burned in his eyes, that judgmental glare? You and I, we know what that is like. We have felt it for years, decades, from those who would call us murderers, thieves, destroyers, traitors. He sentenced the people of Fastervold to suffer with his own greed. You can see in my eyes the truth when I say that I did not mean for this. Yes, I wanted control of Fastervold. I told you that from the start. My family needs this village's help to exact revenge on those who drove us from our home, to incite revolution among our people. But I did not want so many dead, so many misled by a fool lord and his decision to trust a band of arrogant dwarves. The no-sworn is but an exaggerated example of everyone who looks at you with distrust and hate in their eyes, who have shunned and isolated you, who would see you exiled or hanged. I know that feeling, Ivy, every day, and while it could drive one to self-pity, I allow it no room, for I am my own man, as you are your own woman. I am free, and I will make my own decisions regardless of the judgment of others. I will never let anyone stand in the way of our goals. Yes, not mine, goals of which you are now a part. Know that this dwarf's end is the end of all who stand in my way, or yours. Know that for all my flaws, I am passionate and completely devoted to helping those who matter to me. And know that from this day forward, so long as you are with me, you will never be alone, and there will be no secrets between us. Oh, and know that I am going to have to quaff multiple bottles of water. At least my character is as melodramatic as I am. Whew! Oh man. I hope this gives me bonus 90,000 experience points. I deserve every stitch of that, don't you think? Amateur thespian to the rescue! I'm done. So done. I am Rilinid of House Vitharia. And my throat is fucking sick of doing this. Imagine if I had to do this every day for 129 years. It'd wear a man down. Much less an elf. Still can't believe I'm one of those. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, I'm out. Toodles.